Hi, my name is Megan Biddell. I'm part of the business administrative group for MN200B. Our group is focusing on the interview process. I'm here with my dad, Mike Biddell. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Biddell. I'm a lieutenant firefighter paramedic at Concord Township. I primarily operate out of Station 2 on Prouty Road for anybody that's local. So my primary responsibilities obviously are responding to emergency calls. And we do a lot of public education. A big emphasis within the fire department is reaching out to those in our community and not only be to educate, but to be part of the community. So along with, providing EMS services, responding for fires and auto extrication and those kind of things, we're active with teaching the community about CPR. Actually, oftentimes I've done the classes over at Lake Erie at the end of the year. Unfortunately, this year, I don't think I'm going to get that opportunity, where we go in and do a first aid CPR class for the students. We also do a lot of stuff with first aid. Obviously, we talked about CPR, child safety seats. We have guys here that specialize in all different types of rescue. And most of us here are paramedics. So 80% of our job is responding to medical emergencies and 20% to fire and rescue.
Awesome. I think I speak for all of us when I say thank you for protecting our community, and we all appreciate it. When did you decide to become a fireman?
So what led me to become a fireman is, in my mid-20s, I, like many kids, wasn't real sure what I wanted to do, was trying to feel my way through. I went to Cleveland State for a couple years and initially was in a business program. At that time, I couldn't take the idea of being held in by four walls, and really had a sense of community and wanting to help others. So I had a friend that was in the fire service at the time, and he got me to what I needed to do. And I went and made the switch, and I've never looked back since. It's been a great opportunity. I did end up actually finishing up my career, getting my business degree. I got a bachelor's of administration, and then I went on and got a master's in an MBA in business administration. So education is a big part of the fire service, especially as you work your way up the ranks. It's definitely a tool that's nobody can take an education away from you. And as you get further in your career, you definitely find that out. I wish I would have finished it up before I got into the fire service. So anybody that's thinking about jumping ship, I encourage you to stay and hold tight and get through it. You'll be happy later in your careers, regardless of where you go.
So you've had a long journey here. Can you walk me through some of your interview process experiences?
Well, interview process experience has been kind of unique in the fire service. For myself, I personally had to go through an interview process to get hired part-time in two different locations, at Kirtland and at Concord. And then as you work your way through the ranks, you go through a panel interview process, and which oftentimes, my last promotional, it was recorded. We had people analyze it after you go through the process. So they really critique, and they're looking for anything they can get you on, truly. I mean, they're really selecting the best of the best when they go through that. So it gets really stressful. I know a lot of times as new individuals, we, for new hires, it's a pretty standard, straightforward interview process. And then as you work your way up, it becomes more stringent. Currently, as an officer, I'm in charge of the new hires and orientation process. So I sit in, and myself and my senior lieutenant, we interview all the new candidates, and we go through that process. And then I also sit in on the full-time process here at Concord as the union president. So I've been doing that for years now. I've had some good experience, some good tips that I can pass on to others. And it's definitely a trying process, but if you stick to some things, you'll do well.
Awesome. So I guess going into an interview, what should a candidate know about the company?
If you can get a general background or general history of what goes on, especially what they do, you don't want to come into an organization, regardless if it's safety forces or if you're going to, Charles Schwab for an interview. You want to know a little bit about what they've done, where they're at, what's the focus. I know throughout my MBA and throughout my, there's a big emphasis on mission statements. If an organization has a mission statement, know it, understand it. It tells a lot about what direction the company or organization is looking to go, and it speaks volumes about what they are as an organization.
That's a great point. How about attire? Obviously, different maybe businesses or organizations will require maybe a slightly different attire you should wear. But across the board, what would be your recommendation?
Well, for us, we grade the individuals on their what they wear in their attire, and we're looking for a professional. Right now I'm in my duty uniform, which is a polo shirt and blue pants and duty pants and shoes. But firefighters are very ceremonial, so we oftentimes will wear our Class A's, which everyone probably is most familiar with, unfortunately, with funerals, seeing us in our caps and, wear our gloves and all that kind of stuff. We're not looking for our candidates to wear that, but, throughout promotional processes and celebrations and we'll say professional events, we do dress up. And so we look for our guys to be, even as coming in as a firefighter, new guy, we want them in a shirt and tie. A lot of guys will wear a coat, and that's generally acceptable. Carrying this over to any other organization, I definitely would recommend at least, dress a notch above what the standard daily routine is for whatever organization you're going to. If they normally wear a shirt and tie, then I would probably wear a coat to that interview for sure. And for women, definitely business dress. It's an opportunity to sell yourself. You never get that first couple minutes back to make that first impression. And, the first thing they're going to judge you on is your appearance. Don't waste that opportunity.
Right. Are there any other preparations you would recommend doing before you step into the interview?
And one of the best things you can do is practice some of your general questions. This is an opportunity. Oftentimes we see kids come in and they don't know how to sell themselves. Think of yourself as a good salesman here. You've got to sell yourself, and you know yourself better than anybody else. The business or organization that's hiring you, they already have interest in you if you're sitting in front of them. So remember that they want you if you're sitting there for an interview. They've gone ahead and read your resume, and they're familiar with what you bring to the table. It's your job to make sure you sell yourself and add to that, not just reiterate what's on that resume. So, for example, we get a lot of guys that will ask in a general question that most people get in an interview is what do you bring to an organization, or what do you bring to a department? And it's more than just, hey, I'm a firefighter, I'm an EMT, I'm a paramedic. A lot of people don't realize the values of what they truly are. A lot of people are leaders. I know that you guys volunteer a lot and you're active within your communities, and all that's for a reason. Now's the time for all that hard work to talk about it. Tell the people what you do in the community. Businesses these days love giving back to the community, and if they have somebody that they know already buys into that, that's an asset.
Right.
Most of you are young and energetic, and we need that. A lot of organizations need new energy, and I guess the biggest thing is be prepared. Be able to be confident in yourself, and it is nerve-wracking sitting there for an interview. But again, if you can remember that they already have an interest in you, they want you, it's the opportunity for you to sell yourself.
Absolutely. So we're talking about nerves. A lot of people can get pretty nervous heading, maybe even a week or definitely a couple of days before. Is there a point where you should stop going over and just kind of going over those questions in your head and just relax? Or do you just try to perfect everything and have it memorized?
Besides looking up the general background of an organization and knowing how they operate, and there's really not a lot for the candidate to do. You've already prepared for this your whole life, truly. Your accomplishments, your schooling, your volunteering, all that is for you to now be proud of, to tell about. We get kids that'll say, what other things do you bring to a department besides what's on your resume? And oftentimes the answer is, well, I don't think I have anything else. Well, all of you have something that you bring. All of you have a unique characteristic, or you have a skill. Being an old fart like myself, I'm not very good with the IT and all that kind of computer stuff. So these guys that come in today, the younger generation has a vast knowledge of how things work over, say, us. And don't be afraid to mention that. Don't be afraid. I just had an interview last week where I had a candidate that was a lifeguard and was hesitant to mention that as an asset. And obviously that's something that, being able to rescue in the water and all that, that's something that is an asset to a fire department. So
right.
Don't be afraid to be proud of yourselves. That's the biggest thing. I see so many kids come in, and younger, I shouldn't say kids, but younger people come in, and they're hesitant, and they don't make good eye contact. Be proud of what you have. Be proud of what you've done. This is your chance to relay to everyone else everything you've done, and you'll get the opportunity in the interview. Just be patient. You don't want to carry on too much, but you definitely want to do a good salesmanship for yourselves.
Absolutely. So now we're in the office, sitting in a chair. What are the questions I should ask?
So, one of the things that, we always get a bunch of different answers or questions and answers there. Ask for, I think it's always good when a candidate asks for the opportunity for advancement or for additional training or education. Oftentimes organizations will allow you to, or pay for you to go get more advancement and education. Ask about those opportunities. That right there lets the interview, people in the interview there know, hey, whether it's a board, a panel, whatever you're sitting in front of, or it could be just a single person. Hey, I'm interested in doing more than what just got me in the door. I want to be part of this company, or, and advance, move up. Those are the people they want. They don't want somebody that's just going to be there for 2 years and use them as a stepping stone.
Right. I think a question that all of us kind of fear is the tell me about yourself question. What are the key points I really want to focus on when answering that?
So the tell me about yourself question is, again, we go back, and I can't emphasize this enough. Just be confident in yourself. Make good eye contact. Explain what you've done in your last few years to prepare yourself to be sitting right in that chair that you're in. It's the opportunity, again, to just emphasize everything that you're proud of and make sure that the organization is aware of what you have done. Again, a resume is just a little short, brief description of who you are. This
right.
is when you get that chance to tell you, who you are, take that opportunity to explain more than just what's on that resume.
Awesome. My last question for you, and then if you have any other tips, please feel free to give your input on that. As far as taking notes, when is a good time to do that? Should my notepad be out right when I sit down, or when is a good time for that?
With the notepad, I think everybody's going to have a different opinion of that, I guess. Oftentimes, the questions are getting asked, and it's the notes probably are at the end when you get the opportunity to ask your questions.
Okay.
I definitely would recommend, if you have You know, again, it's the nerve-wracking time, so you can open your notebook, and then that way you have the questions you want to ask written, so you don't forget, and maybe it's a better delivery of the question you're looking to present. So I think have it open, have it to the side, but don't focus on it. You want to focus on the interviewer, and that's where your focus needs to be. Make good eye contact, sit up straight, speak confidently. Too often of times we get people to come in and their heads are down, they're not talking confidently. Again, this is your chance to make a first impression. Take advantage of it.
Right. Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have any other information you feel is really important to know?
No, that wraps it up. Again, just be confident in yourselves. You guys have worked hard. Most of you have spent a lot of time, preparing for that day. And again, they want you there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting there. So remember that. And I hope that helps ease the nerves a little bit, is to just take the opportunity and sell yourself. And again, do the best you can.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I know I learned a lot today, and I hope others that view this video do as well. So thank you very much.
All right. Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.